Hello students, welcome back. Today I am Anuradha from DPS Halwani Lamachar going to start another topic of the same chapter that we were discussing in the last class, photosynthesis in higher plants. Okay, so in this chapter what we have discussed that what are the experiments done by the different scientists to prove that whether the photosynthesis is what type of reaction. Okay, so we have done that how we can prove that yes, what is the requirement for the photosynthesis, that there must be a starch formation. Second thing, there must be a formation of oxygen. Okay, by these two things we are coming to know that yes, there is a photosynthesis. Okay, so for that we have done like experiments, variegated leaf experiments, then half leaf experiments by mole, and so many experiments we have done, and the yes, Priestley experiment. Okay, so by all these we concluded that all the scientists concluded that these are the characteristics of the photosynthesis. Okay, so now just quick summary of photosynthesis. What that it is a endothermic reaction. Why? Because it requires energy. Another thing, it is we can say that it is a physio chemical process in which there will be a changes from gaseous state to the aqueous state, and there must be some more changes. Okay, like we can say in photosynthesis what is happening, there may be changes from the inorganic to organic one. Okay, CO2 is inorganic, and when it will convert into the organic one, that is the glucose C6H12O6. So this is the thing which we have done till now. Now one more experiment, or about the one more scientist we will discuss today, that is Cornelius von Nil. Okay, in 1897 to 1985. So what he said about this experiment and what he concluded about the photosynthesis, he said that photosynthesis is totally a light dependent reaction. If light will not be there, then there will be no photosynthesis. Okay, earlier it was assumed that what happens during the photosynthesis, we are having the CO2, we are having the water. Okay, and the first step which we have done, that there must be a oxidation of what? Oxidation of water. It means that water will break down, and due to this breakdown the hydrogen will release, and this released hydrogen will be taken by the CO2 and it will form the glucose. Okay, but is it important that water is required? Okay, what about those bacteria? We know that some bacteria are there, purple and green sulfur bacteria. Okay, these bacteria, they are not taking the water, but instead of that they are having the this H2S. Okay, so if we are talking about the splitting of hydrogen, okay, it may be from water or it may be from H2S, right? But the first step which is happening here, it is of what? Breakdown of H2. Okay, or we can say that removal of H2, and removal of H2 is what? It is oxidation. Okay, and the next step is what? Reduction. Reduction is what? When we are adding hydrogen, it will be the reduction process. Okay, so according to him, that it is not necessary that hydrogen always comes from the water. Okay, the only thing is required here, light. If light will not be there, what will happen? There will be no photosynthesis. But some blue, purple and green sulfur bacteria are also there, which are also having the photosynthesis. So how they are taking the photosynthesis? With the help of this H2S, as well as light is there. Okay, so come to here, that photosynthesis is a light dependent reaction, very important thing. Then another one is that why this reaction is given in your NCERT, 2H2A plus CO2. Okay, photosynthesis is not a single step, right? It is a multi-step. In the first step, what is happening? Oxidation takes place, and second thing, reduction will take place. Okay, as well as we can say there will be a light reaction and the dark reaction. Light reaction is what? Light reaction is that reaction which takes place in the presence of light. Okay, and dark reaction is what? Dark reaction is not dependent on the light, but it doesn't mean that it is happening in the dark. The only thing that the light is not that much important for the dark reaction. Okay, so you can see here 2H2A. H2A denotes what? It may be H2O, it may be H2O, or it may be H2S, depending upon the organism. Okay, so we can say that the oxidation substrate can be anyone. Okay, but the light is important here, and light is a thing which is responsible for the photosynthesis in both green plants as well as in the these bacteria. Okay, so here what they have written, that 2H2O can be, this HA can be O also, it can be S also. Okay, so what is the requirement? The requirement is only of H2. Okay, if I will show this equation in a very simpler form, how can you say that what is happening when H2O will combine with any of the substrate X? So what is happening here? This removal of this what? Hydrogen, and removal of hydrogen, oxidation, and it will attach with this X and it will form what? HX. Okay, what it will form? HX, as well as it will release the oxygen. Okay, now in the second step, what will happen? This HX will combine with what? CO2. Okay, now what is happening? There will be addition of this hydrogen in this CO2, and due to this what is happening? We are getting the C6H12O6, as well as we are removing what? We are removing this O2 here. Okay, so by this we can say that there will be addition of this here, shifting of this one here. Okay, so here we have shown with a single step that we are getting this 2A. 2A is what? The thing which we are getting from here. Okay, then CH2 we can assume with the glucose and water as well. Okay, so we can say that oxygen evolved from the green plants. So now question arises that the oxygen which we are getting from the plants, okay, whether it is coming from CO2 or it is coming from the water. This question may be there. So how can you prove this thing? We can prove this thing, or earlier the scientist has proved, the same time scientist has proved this thing with the help of what? With the help of one experiment that is known as radioisotope technique. Okay, radioisotope technique. In this technique, what he did, he took the water. Okay, he took the water that is highly isotopic. Okay, if I will talk about the simpler oxygen, it is oxygen is O16. Okay, but here whenever he took the experiment, he took the oxygen with high isotopic, that is O18. Okay, so when they have provided this water to the plants, so water has released what? It has released again this oxygen, not the CO2. Okay, not the oxygen that is coming from the CO2. So by this thing they have concluded that the oxygen which we are getting, or the oxygen the higher plants are evolving, it is coming from what? It is coming from water, not from the CO2. So it is also inferred here by this thing. So same thing, the oxygen evolved by the green plants, they are coming from what? From the water, not from the CO2. So this question can be asked in the examination, that whether this statement is true or false. So what you will say, that yes, it is coming from water. If it will question will be it is from CO2, then it will be false. Okay, so these things are there, as well as same H2O is what? When we are talking about the green plants, and H2S is what? Purple and green sulfur bacteria. And the role of these two is what? To give the hydrogen. Okay, and again this reaction can be done into two phases, light reaction as well as dark reaction. Okay, so we will understand about these things very clearly here. Now comes to the point that this equation, we know about the equation of photosynthesis, in which 6CO2 12H2O, in the presence of light it is giving C6H12O6 as well as 6 water and 6 oxygen. Okay, so here you can see that how many oxygen is there? 12 oxygen are there. Okay, here also you can see that 12 oxygen are there. So it means that here equation is balanced. So this equation also given by him, which is corrected. Earlier it was what? It was not the 12. Okay, so the equation was not balanced at the earlier time, but later on when he came to know that light is important, as well as this oxygen is coming from water, so it has concluded this equation here, and we can say it has corrected this equation as the six, we can say 6 atoms of CO2 and 12 atoms of the water here. Okay, now comes to the site of the photosynthesis. We know that photosynthesis occurs where? In the plants. So in which plant, in which part of the plant? The green part of the plant. It may be in leaves, it may be sometimes at stems also. Okay, so whenever we are talking about the photosynthesis in higher plants, so we are talking mostly about the proper site of the photosynthesis. So where it will take place? It takes place in the green leaves. Okay, it takes place in the green leaves. So in these green leaves also there are specific cells which are known as the mesophyll cells. What do you call it? Mesophyll cells. Okay, so mesophyll cells are there in this mesophyll cells. Okay, in this mesophyll cell, if I will talk about the dicot plants, so there is a spongy and palisade cells. Okay, so here in this mesophyll cells, there is one cell organelle. Okay, we have done this thing in the earlier chapter also, that chloroplast is one of the cell organelles of green plants. As we are discussing about the plants here or the higher plants, so we will talk about this chloroplast. Okay, so chloroplast is a cell organelle which is present in the plant or in the plant cell. So in the mesophyll cells, what happens? Chloroplast is there. This chloroplast is the site of photosynthesis, where the actually photosynthesis will be there. So we know that what is photosynthesis? Again, it is a light dependent reaction. Okay, as it will trap the light, what will happen? It will start synthesizing its food here. So how it will take place? So the first question comes from here, that what is the site of photosynthesis? Answer is chloroplast. Okay, now comes to the structure of chloroplast. We have discussed this thing earlier also, that structure, chloroplast is a bimembrane structure. It means that it is a double membranous structure which has its own ribosomes. Okay, its own ribosome, its own DNA. So we can understand the structure of chloroplast from here. Same thing, there it is a two membranous structure. Outer is outer membrane, okay, and the inner one is the inner membrane, right? Outer membrane and another inner one, inner membrane. Along with this, some more parts are there in this chloroplast. We know that it contains what? It contains its own ribosomes. Okay, it contains its own ribosomes, as well as it contains the some starch as well as lipid also. So these are the things, and the fluid or the matrix which is present in this chloroplast, it is known as what? Stroma. Stroma is what? The matrix which is present in the chloroplast. Okay, and here you can see that stacks are there. Stacks, or we can say stacks of, you can, it can appear like a stacks of coins. So these piles combinedly known as what? Granum. If I will talk about this whole stack or the whole piles, what you will call it? Granum. But if I will talk about only one coin, if I will assume like a coin like structure, if I will say it is only one, so what do you call it? Thylakoid. Okay, so this single one is thylakoid. When it will form a pile like structure, it will form the granum. Okay, and combinedly how many granas are there? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and in each grana so many thylakoids are present here. Okay, so what we have done in this chloroplast, that it is having some membranous structure. Okay, outer membrane, inner membrane, inner to it matrix is present which is known as stroma. Okay, and these piles are present which is known as granum, and in each granum consists of some unit which is known as the thylakoids. Okay, as well as you can see that some more thylakoids are there, okay, but it's not in a pile like form, okay, it's just for attachment. What do we call it? Stromal lamella, okay, stromal lamella is there, or the stromal thylakoids. One thylakoid is this one and another one is the these singular one, right? So stromal lamella is present and the matrix whole stroma, right? So we will understand the function of in each and every part of this chloroplast. The combinedly we can say it is a site of photosynthesis. So how this photosynthesis will take place in this cell organelles? Okay, come to here that it is a membranous system. In this membranous system, what we are having here, that grana are present, grana, stromal lamella, these stromal lamella is present as well as the stroma. So these three things will form the membranous system of the chloroplast. Okay. Now comes to the another thing, that will be the function. What is the function of this one? This membranous system is useful for what? Trapping the light energy. Whatever the light is coming from here, they will trap here. Okay, so they will trap the light energy, as well as when they will trap the light energy, they will synthesize some energy. Okay, it will use some energy and synthesize some chemicals. So what are these chemicals? What they will synthesize? ATP and NADPH. Okay, adenosine triphosphate, like this NADPH is there. So these chemicals will form as the light will trap in these chloroplast. Okay, so due to this, what will happen? There is a light reaction which is known as the photochemical reaction. Photo means light, chemical means some chemicals are preparing. So in presence of light, what is happening? The chemical, that is ATP and NADPH, is forming here. Okay, so this is the first phase of the photosynthesis, right? Now comes to the second phase of the photosynthesis, that is the stroma. Okay, so second phase is what? Dark reaction. Dark reaction takes place where? In these stroma. Okay, so what is the function of this dark reaction? As I have told you right now, that it doesn't mean that it is happening in the dark. The only thing is that here light is it is a light dependent. Okay, light is required for the synthesis of ATP and NADPH. But here, for this synthesis, okay, what is the role of dark reaction? In dark reaction, there will be a sugar synthesis. Why it is happening so? Because these enzymatic action will take place in the stroma, and ultimately it will form the sugar, and the sugar will stored in which form? In form of starch. Okay, so for formation of the sugar as well as store of starch, it doesn't require any sunlight, it doesn't require any light. That's why we are saying it is a dark reaction, which is also known as the carbon reaction. Okay, so we have done that. What is the total function of the chloroplast here? If you will see the zoom structure of these stacks, what you will see, that in these thylakoids some structures are present. Okay, some structures are present which will function as an activity for the formation of these chemicals here, right? So one by one we will understand it. Now comes to some important points which are related to it, like we can say that photosynthetically active radiation. What does it mean? As I have said, photosynthesis is a light dependent reaction. Okay, so it needs some light, and when we are passing the light through the prism, or the white light through the prism, it divides into 7 different colors: VIBGYOR, according to the different wavelength. Okay, so in which wavelength the actual photosynthesis will take place, that one is known as the photosynthetically active radiation. Okay, it is that zone or that region of light in which the photosynthesis will take place. And what is that thing? 400 to 700 nanometer. It means that 400 is just for the what? For the blue color, and 700 up to this R color. It means that most of the photosynthesis will take place between this 400 to 700 nanometer. And if I will talk very specifically, so the more of the photosynthesis takes place in the blue as well as the red region, or in the wavelength of the blue as well as red one. Clear? So what is photosynthetically active radiation? Right? Now comes to the photosynthetic pigments. Now in these chloroplast, what is there? Pigments are there. Okay, and this pigment is what we have done in the lower classes, that chlorophyll is the pigment which is responsible for the photosynthesis, and it is present in the chloroplast, right? So here we will understand that what are the photosynthetic pigment, the pigment which are responsible for happening this photosynthesis in the green plants. Okay, so how many types of different pigments are there? We know about only the chlorophyll, but along with this chlorophyll, some more pigments are also there. Okay, due to this, there will be some variation in the color of the leaves. Okay, so these variation is due to the presence of what? Different pigments. Okay, so here we will understand that how many types of pigments are present here for the photosynthesis in any green leaf. Okay, or any green part. So what are they? Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, then xanthophyll and carotenoids. Here what you have to understand that they are responsible for which color. Okay, if I will talk about this chlorophyll A, it will start from where? From this blue color. Okay, as I have said that from this blue to red region, this is the region for the more photosynthesis. Okay, and the wavelength is 400 here around and R 700 around. Okay, so the chlorophyll A, it's of which color? Blue and green color, right? Then comes to the chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll B is what? Then green and yellow. Okay, or we can say yellow or green. So you can see here blue and green and yellow and green. Okay, so it is yellow, green. Now comes to this xanthophyll. Along with this green pigments, okay, there are some yellow pigments are also there. So this yellow pigment is what? Next one is the yellow pigment. So yellow pigment or yellow thing is due to what? Which type of pigment? Xanthophyll. Okay, now comes to the fourth one, that is the carotenoids. These carotenoids are responsible for imparting yellow or orange color. Just next to it, what you will find it a yellow and this orange color here. So we have concluded that these four pigments are also, or along with this two more pigments are there which is responsible for imparting the color. Okay. Now, there is one term, absorption spectrum. Okay, in this absorption spectrum, what is happening? If you will go for the paper chromatography of this leaf, you will come to that there are different colors. So on the basis of what? On the basis of chromatography, we have concluded that there are so many pigments which are responsible for the photosynthesis. Okay, now when we have calculated this in the chromatogram, okay, so in this chromatogram, what we have concluded that the more absorption of light, okay, the more absorption of light will take place in a particular region, as I have discussed right now. So what is that thing? It is an absorption spectrum. So absorption spectrum is nothing, it is only a representation or the curve. It is only the representation or the curve in which what is happening, the amount of different wavelength. It means that the different wavelength or the amount of different wavelength, how it absorb the light from the sunlight for by the substances. Okay, so here what you are going to calculate that in which, for example, it is a 400, it is a 700 nanometer. Okay, this is the range from starting from the 400 till the 700 nanometer. So how this pigments have taken it? So we can say that more of the things, the graph will be higher where? At the 400 nanometer, or sometimes you can see that 450 nanometer. Okay, if you will see here 450 or 400 nanometer, you can see higher than in the 700 nanometer. Okay, so these region have absorbed more light for the photosynthesis. So absorption spectrum is what? That amount of different wavelength of light absorbed by the substances. Okay, and what we have concluded that chlorophyll A, if I will again make this graph here, this is the only pigment which has absorbed the wide range of the wavelength. It means that it can cover a wide range. So chlorophyll is a, what we can say, it is a primary pigment. What it is? It is a primary pigment, or we can say the reaction center also. Why? Because it is absorbing more light. Yeah, comparatively this chlorophyll A, B, xanthophyll and the carotenoids, they are not absorbing that much wide range of wavelength as compared to the chlorophyll A. So this point is important, that maximum absorption takes place in which one? In the chlorophyll A. Okay, and what is the wavelength? The wavelength is 450 nanometer. As I have discussed here, that from 450 to 700 nanometer there will be more absorption of light here. Okay, now comes to the mechanism of photosynthesis. This part is very important, that how this photosynthesis will take place. Okay, so already we have discussed two phases are there, two methods or two steps are there, that is the light reaction as well as the dark reaction. So the light reaction takes place as a photochemical phase. Okay, this is the photochemical phase. It means light is required and chemicals will form here. Okay, so this reaction, if I will talk about the light reaction and dark reaction, light reaction is going to take place in the, where? In these thylakoids. If I will draw this thylakoid here, okay, now I have drawn this thylakoid. Okay, inside this thylakoid some matrix will be there, and this is the membrane of what? This is the membrane of thylakoid. So here exactly what is going to happen? The photosynthesis. It means that light is going to trap here in these thylakoids. Okay, then the reaction will start here. So we can say that light reaction will take place in the thylakoid membrane, as well as the dark reaction will take place at the outer part or in this stromal part. Okay, so we will understand that what is happening exactly in the light reaction or in the photochemical phase. So the first thing which is going to happen, absorption of light. Okay, they will absorb the light from the sun. Then due to this, what is going to happen? Splitting of water. And splitting of water is what? It is a oxidation process. What it is? It is an oxidation process. Due to this, there will be removal of hydrogen molecule from the water. Then what will happen? There will be release of oxygen. Okay, so now what will happen in the another phase? The oxygen will get released from here, and due to, and along with this release of oxygen, there will be formation of the high chemical energy. As I have said, it is a photochemical of process. So what is happening? With in the presence of light, there will be release of these chemical, and these chemicals are nothing, these are the ATP and NADPH. Okay, so these and ATP and NADPH will form here as a result of this photosynthesis. Okay, so now we will understand that how the pigments are coming into the role. Okay, so there are things, that is a light harvesting complex. Okay, so these light harvesting complex is made up of what? Photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. So here we have to understand that what is this photosystem and photosystem. Okay, and it is of two type, 1 and 2. So here I am just drawing the structure like, if I will show you that what exactly is happening in this one. We know that light is there. Okay, sunlight is there. So when it will be here, there are so many pigments. What are they? There are so many pigments. So accordingly it will trap the energy, and we know that the energy will trap from where? From the 450 nanometer. If any of these pigments having the tendency to absorb the 450 nanometer, so it will take from here, from the sunlight. Okay, so if 450 nanometer of wavelength will come from the sunlight, so for example this is P for 450. Okay, so it will take this energy from here. So hold this one which is going to trap the energy, it is a light harvesting complex. What are they? Light harvesting, LHC. So these light harvesting complex having some photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. Okay, but it doesn't mean that if one is at the first and second at the later, its basis is what? About the discovery. Okay, so photosystem is what? It discovered first and photosystem is discovered later on. That's why we have given the name. Okay, but the function is different. The first thing, the photosystem 2, okay, PS2 will take the, and we can say light from the sunlight. So what we can say, photosystem 2 will take place. Here I have shown that PS2 is what? Chlorophyll A. Chlorophyll A can be of photosystem PS2 type also and PS1 type also. So out of them, okay, out of them, if it is a PS2, if it is PS2, and all these are helping this PS2. Why? Because it is, they are trapping the sunlight, but they are not able to excite their electron. So what is happening exactly in this photosynthesis? This PS, these light harvesting complex or the photosystem, they are taking the energy from the sunlight, and due to this they are exciting their electron. Okay, so they have taken the sunlight from the sun, and all these help these PS, this photosystem, to trap the energy. So what you will call them? You will call them the accessory pigments. Okay, so accessory pigments are what? Xanthophyll and carotenoids. Okay, but they don't have the tendency to excite their electron. So chlorophyll is a primary, we can say primary pigment which will excite the electron. Okay, so all these pigment which are here, they are known as what? Light harvesting complex, as well as they are known as the antenna. Antenna is what? Which are helping the photosystem to excite its electron. Okay, but they are not able to excite its electron by themselves. So here we know that what are the light harvesting complex. Some proteins are also present between these pigment. That's why it's forming some complex here. Then another one is a chlorophyll A. So out of them there is one chlorophyll A, which can be the photosystem 2. Okay, this photosystem 2 having the tendency to take the light or the wavelength of P60 680 nanometer. Okay, so as the P 680 nanometer will come from here. Okay, so what will happen? It will excite its electron, and due to this what will happen? It will give to the PS2, that is the what? P700 nanometer. So from PS2 it will move towards the PS1. Okay, photosystem 1. And what is happening here? There will be excitation of electron, and due to the excitation of electron there will be formation of ADP and ADPH. Okay, so this is the whole process which is going to happen in this photosynthesis. So we will understand each and everything in a detailed form, how this photosystem is acting upon and how they will form the Z representation, all about it. Okay, so today we have completed about one of the experiment, as well as some terms which is related to the photosynthesis and what are the requirement for the mechanism. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.